Hi everybody, welcome to another Kids Craft. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of making a craft, we are going to make a snack. Now we're going to be making one of my favorite things, sushi. Now this craft is a take and make, and do you think we'd really send you home with fish? No. Today we're going to be making sushi out of candy. Here's how it's done. First things first, wash your hands. Now that your hands are nice and clean, here's what you're going to need. To start, get something clean to work on. I'm going to use just a paper plate. You're also going to want something like a butter knife. This should work for most things, but if you do need a sharper knife, do get an adult to help you with that. You're also going to need some marshmallow treats. I have some pre-made ones here. You can make your own if you would like. Then you're going to need a bunch of candy for your filling, whatever you like. Gummy stuff works best for this. I'm also going to use fruit by the foot here. You can use things like fruit roll-ups, just something thin and gummy like that. Right. So let's begin. The first and probably the most easiest is nigiri sushi. Nigiri sushi is pretty much rice with fish on top. So I'm going to take my marshmallow bar and just cut a small rectangle off like so. You can go this way if you like. It's up to you, whatever size you want it to be. Set that aside. So you want to work the shape with your hands, your clean hands, just a little bit, just kind of round the edges, just a tiny, tiny bit. Just like so. Then you're going to want to put something on top. You could use Swedish fish. I think I'm going to use a Sour Patch Kid just because I like those a little better. I like the look of that a little better. Just put that right on top like so. Now a lot of nigiri sushi does have seaweed wrapped around it. So for that I'm going to use some fruit by the foot. Again, you can use fruit roll-up, something like that, but you want to cut that down to size. But this I like the length of. So I'm just going to wrap it around like so. And this is pretty soft, so I'm just going to tear it. And there we go. Here's how you make maki sushi. Maki is a sushi roll, which has a roll of rice with filling in the middle and then seaweed surrounding that. There's two ways you can do this. You can take your Rice Krispie treats, flatten it out, put your toppings in the middle and roll it up, which is how they would do normal maki sushi. But I'm going to do this a little bit of a cheat way because mine is a little tougher. Kind of work your rice into the roll shape. And again, make sure your hands are clean for this. There we go. I'm going to have this more of a rounded shape I like there. I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to cut the middle out. Just very carefully. Again, if you're using a sharper knife, you get an adult to help you, but a butter knife should work nicely for this. Just take the middle part right out like so, and then you can set this aside. You can eat it whatever you want to do. Okay. Once you have your hole, just work it a little bit more so you have that nice roll shape. You should have a hole right in the middle there. From here you can put in whatever fillings you like. I mentioned earlier I have my Swedish fish. I think I'm going to cut that in half with my butter knife. So you have that in the middle. Oh, what else do I have? I have an Airheads, kind of a taffy candy. I'm just going to tear part of that. Oh, I'll use my butter knife. It's a little tougher than I thought it was going to be. Oops. There we go. Set that off to the side. Kind of squish that around a little bit. Put that in there with it. I have a tiny bit more space, so I'm going to take a piece of Starburst. And it looks a little big, so I'm going to trim that down as well. There we go. And just put that right in there so my sushi is nice and filled. And much like With the other one, I'm going to use fruit by the foot for the seaweed. Again, just kind of take it, wrap it around like so. Make sure you take the paper off because that is not tasty. Tear that off. And there you have a maki sushi roll. All right, and there you have 2 types of candy sushi. And you can do these however you like, whatever candies you like. It's all up to you. But I want to make mine look a little bit more like sushi that you'd see at a restaurant. So I have some green taffy that I'm going to work around just a little bit. Set it on my plate for some wasabi. There you have a lovely candy sushi tray. Thank you for joining us for this Kids Craft, and we will see you next time.